In India, we have hundreds, maybe even thousands of Shiva temples, especially in the south. But we will not find many temples dedicated to Dakshinamurti as the main deity. Yeah. But on the outer wall, south facing, or on the Gopuram south facing, we will find a beautiful Vigraha of Dakshinamurti, as you can see on the screen, the youthful figure sitting in Virasana and, holding the Chinmudra. Yeah. But Pujya Swamiji chose Dakshinamurti as the main temple deity of our Gurukulams. The Gurukulams Swamiji founded. There are 4 Arsha Vidya Gurukulams in Coimbatore, Rishikesh, Nagpur, and Pennsylvania, America, US. So in all these ashrams, the main temple is dedicated to Dakshinamurti. Yeah. Now, why did Pujya Swamiji choose Dakshinamurti? There are other shrines also, Ganesha, Jnaneshwari, Subramanya, and Hanumanji. But the main deity is Dakshinamurti, because Dakshinamurti stands for Brahma Vidya. Yeah? And Dakshinamurti blesses the seekers from all over the world who come to gain the self-knowledge, or Brahma Vidya. Yeah? So in these Gurukulams, typically courses and camps are offered on the teachings of the Upanishads or Advaita Vedanta, and a serious seeker of moksha will pursue what is called as Prasthana Trayam. Yeah? Now, Prasthana means pursuit, Trayam is threefold. So what is the threefold pursuit of moksha or Brahma Vidya? Number 1, Bhagavad Gita, all the 18 chapters, not only the 18 chapters, along with the Shankara Bhashyam. Number 2, about 10 Upanishads, again with the commentaries by Shankaracharya. And number 3, the Brahma Sutras, 555 Brahma Sutras composed by Vyasacharya. So even today, there are long-term courses where students come and just live in the Gurukulams and do this Prasthana Trayam. Yeah? Now, this is called the expressway to moksha. Yeah? But not all of us, are able to do this. Yeah? So then there are by-lanes or a more comfortable way of gaining Atma Jnanam. And we see that Shankaracharya has composed a number of Prakarana Granthas, which are shorter text highlighting the vision of the Upanishads, which are more user-friendly and more comfortable. Like many of you maybe are familiar with Viveka Chudamani, Tattva Bodhaha, Advaita Makaranda, Manisha Panchakam, Sadhana Panchakam, Upadesha Sahasri, yeah, and including what we are going to see today, Dakshinamurthy Stotram. Yeah. So these Prakarana Granthas help us to gain the same knowledge that is offered in the Prasthana Trayam. Now, let us see the title. Yeah? So, what is the meaning of Dakshinamurti? Yeah? Now, in Sanskrit, we have what is known as a compound. Yeah? Compound is called samasa. Yeah? Compound. So, the word Dakshinamurti can be opened or split in 2 different ways. Yeah? The first way is Dakshina Abhimukha Murtihi Yasya Sa. Dakshina Abhimukha Murtihi Yasya Sa. The one whose form faces the south. Dakshina is south. Yeah? So Dakshina Abhimukha means faces. So the form of the Lord that faces the south is Dakshinamurti. Yeah? That is why in all these Gurukulams, you will find the Acharya, current Acharya or the Swamiji will sit on the Vyasapitha facing the south. Yeah? then all the students like us, seekers, will face the Guru, and hence automatically we face the north. Yeah. Now, what is the problem facing the south? I think we all know very well. The south is considered in our culture as inauspicious. Yeah. Why? Because all the directions are governed by devatas, and who is sitting in the south? None other than Lord Yama. Yeah? Now, Lord Yama stands for death, mrityu, but also for time, kala devata. Yeah? But Dakshinamurti has no fear of time or death. So Dakshinamurti, the Lord, can always face Yama. Why? Because he is Yamanaka Yaman. He is the Lord Yama for Yaman. Yeah? So Dakshinamurti symbolizes knowledge, immortality, Brahma Vidya, or Moksha. Yeah? So the south is symbolic of samsara also. Fear of death, fear of mortality. This is what is afflicting us all the time. Anxiety for the future, guilt about the past. So we are constantly living in psychological time instead of chronological time. Yeah? So the Shastras say that the mind has a tendency to move towards the south, which is towards worldliness and extrovertedness and towards samsara. Yeah? So we should try to strive to reverse the flow and move towards the north. And north stands for freedom, immortality, knowledge, and moksha. Yeah? So many people are scared, to face the south also. Yeah, we don't do namaskaras facing the south. We don't do any important activity. Our temples and altars don't face the south, And I knew somebody, who had a difficulty reselling his flat because the front door was south facing. Yeah. Then he had to, considerably decrease the rate, and then he could dispose of the flat. Yeah. So it is said that, Ganga Ji, the sacred Ganga, we all know, emerges from Gomukh and Gangotri and flows from the north towards the south. But what happens at Kashi, Varanasi, is that suddenly the Ganga Ji makes a bend towards the north. Yeah? And because of that, Kashi is now known as Mokshapuri. Yeah? So the Shastra says that we also should strive to turn the tendency of the mind and reverse the flow towards the Lord, towards knowledge and towards moksha. So this is the first meaning of the compound word Dakshinamurti. Dakshina Abhimukha Murtihi Yasya Sa. Murti, is a very common surname in Andhra, Telangana. Krishnamurti, Vyasamurti. Murti means image. So we are all an image of Bhagavan. Yeah? But the ignorance is veiling that identity with the Lord. Yeah? So this is the first meaning. What about the second meaning of the title, Dakshinamurti? Now the word Dakshinamurti can be split in another way. Dakshin or Dakshin plus Amurti. Again it will become Dakshinamurti. So Amurti means formless. Yeah? So the Lord is formless Nirguna Parabrahma, and yet can and does manifest in countless forms. We are all forms and images, murtis of the one formless Lord. Yeah? So Dakshin plus Amurti is another way of understanding Dakshinamurti. Yeah? The formless Lord who is Dakshin. Now, what is this Dakshin? Here it is not south. Dakshin in Sanskrit means Dakshaha Asya Asti iti Dakshin Shabda. So Daksha means skill or competence or capability. Samarthaha. So what is the Lord? Samarthaha in capability. What is the capability here? To manifest the universe. Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. And to remove the ignorance of the jivas and enable them to gain Atma Jnanam. So that competence is what is one who has it is a Dakshin. So the formless Nirguna Parabrahma who is a Samartha, capable of manifesting, sustaining and withdrawing universes, yeah, and who is totally and effectively removes my Ajnanam, my ignorance of my true nature, is also Dakshinamurti. So these are the two meanings of Dakshinamurti. The first one again, Dakshina Abhimukha Murti Yasya Saha. This is a Bahuvrihi compound. The one whose form faces the south. Yeah. Second one, Dakshin Amurti, Karmadharaya Samasa, and that is the one who is formless and competent. Yeah. So both of these apply to us. Yeah. And now we will enter into the verses also. But before that, let me tell you the story behind this image here. You can see, on the wall behind me also there is a Dakshinamurti image. Yeah. So the description of Dakshinamurti is to be found in the Skanda Purana. Yeah. Of the 18 Puranas composed by Vyasacharya, Skanda Purana has references to, how Shiva manifested as a youthful Dakshinamurti. And there is an interesting story behind it, that when Brahmaji wanted to create the universe, Srishtikarta Brahmaji, first there were these 4 mind-born sons, Sanat Kumaras of Brahmaji. Yeah? Sananda, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara, Sanat Sujatiya. Yeah? Like that, all starting with Sana. Sanat Kumara, Sanandana, Sanatana, Sanat Sujatiya. Yeah? So these mind-born sons of Brahmaji, they told their father, we are not interested in continuing the Pravritti Marga, to continue the lineage and propagate. We are interested in spiritual wisdom. So they left home and went in search of a guru. And they kept on searching and doing a lot of tapas and reached Mount Kailash. Yeah? Mount Kailash, Shiva graciously, manifested as Dakshinamurti at the foot of a banyan tree. And this is what we see at his feet. Now the Sanat Kumaras, the mind-born Manasa Putras of Brahmaji, are looking aged. Why? Because, they are, they kept searching for a guru. And also another meaning is that they are mature jivas. After many births, it is said that one seeks the moksha, Atma Jnanam, Bahunam, Janmanam Ante Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Bhagavan Krishna says after many lives, one turns towards the north, towards moksha. So the aged Shishyas at the foot of the youthful Dakshinamurti is what the picture is all about. And the 4 Sanat Kumaras also represent the 4 Vedas. So they are an embodiment of Vedic knowledge. Yeah? And the youthful Dakshinamurti symbolizes the truth, which is ageless and timeless. So the south direction is all about time, mortality, about the kshetra. The matter principle is fluctuating, is subject to time. We know that asti, jayate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, pranashyati. Like that, the 6-fold changes. But not so kshetrajnaha or Brahma Vidya. So that is another meaning of, that is the symbolism of the youthful Dakshinamurti imparting the Brahma Vidya to the aged rishis or the 4 Sanat Kumaras at the feet. And the banyan tree represents Maya, in other words, the entire samsara vriksha. So the whole world is nothing but a beautiful, diverse manifestation of the Maya Shakti of the Lord. Yeah. But the people who face north seek, the Brahma Vidya, who is the Lord of Maya. So that is the symbolism of this beautiful image, which is very well known. And now we will enter into the Dhyana shlokas. So the Dakshinamurthy Stotram has 10 shlokas. 8 of them are composed by Adi Shankaracharya, and they are preceded by 6 Dhyana shlokas. Just like with any other stotram, Lalita Sahasranamam or Vishnu Sahasranamam, we have typically some Dhyana shlokas to tune our mind to that aspect of the divine. Yeah? So these were not composed by Adi Shankaracharya, but they were composed by other great acharyas. Other great acharyas who have prefixed it to the Dakshinamurthy Stotram. Yeah? So now what we will do is, I will display it here. We are going to chant all the 6 shlokas first, and then we will continue to see the meaning. Yeah? Sunita, are you ready? Sunita is there?
Yes, Amma.
Yeah.
Yes, Amma.
So I will repeat it a few times. So you can also chant in your muted spaces. And we begin with the Dhyana Shloka number 1. Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita.
Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita.
Parabrahma Tatvayuvanam.
Parabrahma Tatvayuvanam.
Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita. Parabrahma Tatvayuvanam.
Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita. Parabrahma Tatvayuvanam.
Varshishtante.
Varshishtante.
Just one moment. Can somebody is unmuted? Mayura, maybe? Kindly mute.
Sorry.
Varshishtante.
Varshishtante.
Vasadrishiganaihi.
Vasadrishiganaihi.
Avratam brahmanishthaihi.
Avritam brahmanishtaihi.
Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita. Parabrahma Tatvayuvanam.
Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita. Parabrahma Tatvayuvanam.
Varshishtante Vasadrishiganairavritam brahmanishthaihi.
Varshishtante Vasadrishiganairavritam brahmanishtaihi.
Second. Acharyendram.
Acharyendram.
Karakalita.
Karakalita.
Chinmudramanandarupam.
Chinmudramanandarupam.
Acharyendram Karakalita Chinmudramanandarupam.
Acharyendram Karakalita Chinmudramanandarupam.
Swatmaramam.
Swatmaramam.
Muditavadanam.
Muditavadanam.
Dakshinamurtimide.
Dakshinamurtimide.
Acharyendram Karakalita Chinmudramanandarupam.
आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपम्
स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे
स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे
वटविटपि समीपे
वटविटपि समीपे
वटविटपि समीपे
वटविटपि समीपे
भूमिभागे निषण्णम्
भूमिभागे निषण्णम्
भूमिभागे निषण्णम्
भूमिभागे निषण्णम्
सकलमुनिजनानाम्
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 ज्ञानदातारमारात्
ज्ञानदातारमारात्
वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषण्णम्
वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषण्णम्
सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात्
सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात्
Second one, त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशम्
त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशम्
दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवम्
दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवम्
जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि
जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि
त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशम् दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवम्
त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवम्
जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि
जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि
चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले
चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले
वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा
वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा
गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानम्
गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानम्
शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयाः
शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयाः
निधये सर्वविद्यानां
निधये सर्वविद्यानां
भिषजे भवरोगिणाम्
विषजे भवरोगिणाम्
निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणाम्
निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणाम्
गुरवे सर्वलोकानां
गुरवे सर्वलोकानां
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः
ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय
ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय
शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये
शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये
निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय
निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः
ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये
ॐ नमः प्रणवार्धाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये
निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः.
निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः.
There is one missing. Ishwara Gururatmiti. Can you do that? I don't have it on the screen. Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. There is one more which is not in this list. Doesn't matter. So let us see what the first. Thank you, Sunita. These 6 shlokas or 7 shlokas are prefixed by other acharyas to the main verses composed by Adi Shankaracharya of Dakshinamurthy Stotram. So it is a very profound stotram with long words, samasa, compounds, but at the same time it is very poetic, and once we tune our minds, it's quite easy to understand also. Yeah. So what do we see here in the first Dhyana Shloka? Take the last line. Dakshina Murtim Ide. Can you see that? Swatma Ramam Mudita Vadanam Dakshina Murtim Ide. So Ide is the verb which means I worship, I salute. I salute Dakshina Murti, whose meanings we all just saw. And all the other words are a description of the Lord. You know, for Sanskrit students, you can see they're all in Vidya, Vibhakti. Yeah. So that Dakshinamurti I worship, Dakshinamurti Ide. Now, the other words are that Dakshinamurti is Yuvanam. Yuvanam is youthful. And youthful is not in terms of physical age, but the one who is free from time, the hold of time, the one who can never age, the ageless, timeless, formless, nirguna, Parabrahma is Yuvanam. Yeah? And that Yuvanam, Dakshinamurti, whom I worship, Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam. That Dakshinamurti is teaching Brahma Tattvam, Brahma Vidya. Prakatita reveals how Mauna Vyakhya. Yeah? He's doing a Vyakhya. Vyakhya means a discourse actually, but not like what we are doing right now. Mauna. Yeah? So Dakshinamurti reveals the Brahma Tattvam, Parabrahma Tattvam. Prakatita reveals in silence. Yeah? Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam. And that is a very strange thing, you know. If we don't open our mouth and talk, how is one to understand the subject matter? You know, on Teachers' Day, can the teachers just be silent in their online classes and expect the students to understand history and, you know, geography and maths? No. So here, Pujya Swamiji would say, it is Lakshana Vritya. By implication, yeah, indirectly, Dakshina Vritti. Now we will see what that means. But before that, these the sages, you know, the 4 Sanat Kumaras at the foot of the banyan tree who are listening to Dakshinamurti Yuvanam, they are Varshishtha. Varshishtha means elderly sages, yeah, in Vriddhas, Varshishthas. And they are Ante Vasat. Now you see the second line, Varshishthante Vasat. Ante Vasat means they are the resident students of Dakshinamurti. You know, like I told you in our Arsha Vidya Gurukulams, there are different categories. There are day guests who come for the day, or who stay for a short time, or who stay for a longer time, 3 years, 6 years, immerse themselves in the teachings. They are Ante Vasat. So here, the 4 Manasaputras of Brahmaji are Varshishta, elderly, and they are resident students, Ante Vasat. and Rishi Ganaihi. Gana is the host or a group. So this group of sages, they are what? Avritam, surrounding Dakshinamurti. And they are Brahmanishthas. Brahmanishthas means who have that firm knowledge of Brahma Vidya. Nishtha means total clarity. Yeah? Now these sages, are not ordinary Manasa Putras, first of all, Brahmajis, and they are Uttama Adhikaris, which means their mind is so clear and transparent that they are able to receive the knowledge from Yuvanam Dakshinamurti directly, even without having to speak. Something like the Bluetooth transference from one device to another. When the devices are compatible, then there is direct transference, right? So, Mauna Vyakya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam by this Yuvanam is received by the sages, Rishiganaihi, who are Antevasat and Varshishthas and who are Brahmanishthas. So, they are called the Uttama Adhikaris and, who are able to grasp even in Maunam. Ramana Maharishi, if you have visited Arunachala in Tiruvannamalai, the devotees say they just had to sit in the presence of the great Ramana Maharishi and their doubts were dispelled. But when they came back home, the doubts also returned. So that is these two lines. And the other half is on the other page. So this Dakshinamurti is an Acharyendram. He is the Indra of all the Acharyas. He is the Lord of all the Acharyas, means the foremost of Acharyas. See, there are two kinds of Acharyas. One who gives us some form of useful Aparavidya. So we have Karate Guru, Music Guru, Dance Guru, Management Guru, Sports Gurus. But here we're talking about Atma Jnanam. So Dakshinamurti is Acharyendra. And then this is the most important word, Karakalita Chin Mudram Ananda Rupam. Yeah. So Karakalita Chin Mudram Ananda Rupam. Kara means hand. Kalita, the hand assumes the form of Chin Mudra. You can see in the picture behind me, Dakshinamurti has the Chin Mudra. Yeah. Now, Mudra is not something we don't know. Mudra is a hand gesture. We have it in dance now. Pataka, Tripataka, Arthapataka, Mayura and Parrot. Those who have learned Bharatanatyam they can do mudras or yoga mudras. We have Prana Mudra, Vayu Mudra. But here, Dakshinamurti has the Chin Mudra or Jnana Mudra. So, this Chin Mudra is the most significant word here. Chin Mudra is, when we take the thumb, you take the thumb, it is very clearly the most important factor in the hand. Just imagine if we did not have the thumb, how can we grasp or cut vegetables or do anything? Yeah? So the thumb stands for Parameshwara or the Lord. Yeah? The Lord is the most significant factor, the thumb. Yeah? Then we come to the index finger. Yeah? The index finger stands for Jivatma. Yeah? You and me. Yeah? All of us Jivatma. And what about the Jivatma? The Jivatma is mostly to be found with the other three fingers. Yeah? So the other four fingers and thumb is apart. Right? So the other three fingers can be interpreted in many ways. Yeah? They are either the gross, sthula, sukshma, karana shariram, gross, subtle, causal bodies, or the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, or the waking state, dream state, deep sleep state, or the body, mind, sense organs. In short, one easy way to understand is the three fingers represent matter, or kshetram. Yeah? So the Jivatma is mostly connected with matter principle. Yeah? And he's, going through the ups and downs of life. But what happens in Chin Mudra? The index finger, the Jivatma, bends and connects and joins Paramatma. Yeah? And as a result, we have this beautiful circle, circle which stands for Purnatvam. Yeah? And Purnatvam means the whole, which is the limitless being. We know that in a circle, we can't, once the circle is drawn, we don't know where it begins and where it ends. So that is the Lord. Anadi, Ananta. Beginningless, endless. Yeah. But at the same time, full and complete. And that is why we celebrate Guru Purnima on the Purnima day, because Purnima is also full, and the nature of the Guru or Ishvara is that fullness.
Amma?
Yes?
Not able to see your hand, Ma.
Sorry. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, this is the Purnatvam. So, I'll repeat again. See, this index finger is the Jivatma, is mostly connected with Kshetra. That is the Sthula, Sukshma, Karana Shariram. Or body, mind, sense organs. Or waking, dream, deep sleep. In short, these three are the matter principle. Kshetram. Gita, chapter 13, we have seen that. But this Jiva, when it bends and connects with Paramatma, then there is Purnatvam, fullness, and which is lacking nothing. So that is why we hear that in the Middle East countries, when somebody is accused of a theft, then the punishment is they remove the thumb. Yeah, what a brutal way to punish somebody. But because the thumb is so important, once the thumb is gone, then of course every organ is important. So this is the symbolism of Chin Mudra, which Dakshinamurthy is having in the right hand, as you can see in the picture. Chin Mudra. And this is why Dakshinamurthy Yuvanam can do Mauna Vyakhya. So you see, Acharyas, can talk on the Chin Mudra for hours. That what is this Purnatvam? What is the matter principle? Who is the Jiva? And how does the Jiva connect with Paramatma? So all this is the Chin Mudra, but for now, this much will suffice here. So this Chin Mudra, Dakshinamurthy is just showing the Chin Mudra, and these advanced students, the Manasa Putras of Brahmaji, are grasping the whole teaching. What is the teaching? Tat-tvamasi. You are essentially divine. So this is the Chin Mudra. Then the next word is Ananda Rupam. Remember, this is another description of Dakshinamurthy. Ide, I worship Dakshinamurthy, who is Ananda Rupam. So Ananda Rupam is who is the embodiment of happiness. But not the happiness which is dependent on something. Swamiji will say, even an ice cream can make me very happy. A yoga class can make me happy. So all this Yoga Ananda, ice cream Ananda, Vishayananda, they all have a beginning and an end. But the Lord's nature is Ananda. Then Swatma Ramam. Swatma Ramam is Swatmani Ramate Yaha. Saha Swatma Ramaha. The one who is enjoying his own Swarupananda, his happiness, without being emotionally dependent on something or someone to be happy and secure. That is the Lord's nature. And the students are striving to discover their nature as Ananda Rupa, as Swatma Rama. Then the Lord is radiating that happiness through the Vadanam, Mudita Vadanam. Vadanam means face or mouth, both. So Mudita Vadana means ever smiling. So the Lord, who is the embodiment of happiness and who is rejoicing in that happiness, is also radiating that happiness through the face. But the Lord is not laughing. We have to be careful, only smiling. So you will find Dakshinamurthy will have a hint of a smile. And even in the Bhagavad Gita, Remember shloka number 10 of chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga, Prahasan Iva, the word comes. So Krishna has a very sweet smile when Arjuna surrenders to Krishna and says, Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. I surrender. So Krishna is thinking, this is what I'm waiting for. And then the Upadesha begins in the Gita. Ashochyanan Vashochastam Prajnavadanscha Bhashase Ityadi. So here we see that the Lord's form is Dakshinamurti, and I worship that form who's ever smiling. In fact, one of my Guru Bhais, from Gujarat, he's always smiling, and making others laugh also. So when he took sannyasa, Pujya Swamiji named him Mudita Vadanananda. So, and he's still smiling. Very pleasant thing. So it is said that, if we are in a bad mood, we should not even come out of our rooms. So at least we can do a charitable action by smiling, and that is what the Lord is doing all the time. He is not laughing at our struggles and sufferings, but he is smiling because he understands that they are not real, So the jiva is blocked by a veil of ajnanam, and the Lord is waiting to remove that ajnanam and for the jiva to discover his swarupa also as Ananda Rupaha and Swatmarama. Okay. Then the second one, very briefly, Patavitapi Samipe Bhumi Bhage Nishannam. Nishannam means seated. So who is seated on the Bhumi Bhaga? Bhumi Bhaga means on the ground in the vicinity of the Vatavriksha, banyan tree. So again Dakshinamurti. In the second Dhyana Shloka, the one who is seated, Nishannam, on the ground, in front or at the base of the Vatavriksha. Vitapi means many branches are there. Vatavriksha is huge. So Vata Vitapi Samipe Bhumi Bhage Nishannam. Then Sakala Muni Jananam. In the Devanagari one R is missing. You can correct. Sakala Muni Jananam Jnanadataram Arat. Arat means in front of. So Dakshinamurti, who is Jnanadata, who is the giver of knowledge, is seated Nishannam in front of Arat, the Sakala Munis. The Sakala Munis are the Manasa Putras of Brahmaji. So these are the two Dhyana Shlokas. And they basically, the first 3 or 4 Dhyana Shlokas describe the symbolism of this picture of Dakshinamurti. And then later, the identity between Guru and Ishvara will also be pointed out in the other Dhyana Shlokas. So the Advaita Vedanta Parampara talks about the essential oneness of Jiva, Jagat and Ishwara. So how can I discover myself to be the nature of fullness and completeness, and that the world is, essence of the world is Ishvara, and my nature is also that fullness. It is, it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam also, the great Narada, sage Narada, who is famous for the Bhakti Sutras, Narada Bhakti Sutras, he knows everything, but at the same time he was sad. So when he comes and meets one of the Manasa Putras of Brahmaji, who is, I think, Sanat Kumara, he meets one of them. Then Sanat Kumara asks him, why are you so sad, O Rishi? Then he says, I don't know, I have composed so many granthas and still I'm overwhelmed with sadness, Then Narada, the Sanat Kumara gives him the Upadesha, Tarati Shokam Atmavit. Tarati Shokam Atmavit. The one who gains Atmajnanam, Shokam Tarati, crosses over sorrow. This is a very famous mantra which comes in the Chandogya Upanishad, which talks about the meeting of the great Narada meeting Sanat Kumara and receiving Upadesha from him. So I think we will stop here with the 2 Dhyana Shlokas. Next Saturday, we'll complete the Dhyana Shlokas and enter the first verse of Dakshinamurti. So I will just chant the first shloka of Dakshinamurti and then we will conclude. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam pashyannatmani mayaya bahirivod bhutai yatha nidraya yas sakshat kurute prabodha samaye swatmanameva dvayam tasmai shri gurumurtaye nama idam shri dakshinamurtaye. So there also Shankaracharya, every verse will end with tasmai shri gurumurtaye nama idam shri dakshinamurtaye. Unto the Lord, the form of Shiva, Dakshinamurti, who has manifested as my teacher, my namaskaras. No? And then we will see how the shlokas will unfold next time. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat. So thank you all for joining today's course. And if anybody wants to share something or ask a question, you can please unmute and do so.
Thank you so much, Amma. My sister, Jayashree here.
Yes,
My
please.
sister is joined.
Wonderful. Rajesh
is joined.
Yeah, wonderful.
Oh, Mama.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Wonderful introduction to the Stotra. DM Dakshinamurthy Stotram has just kept me glued. It was wonderful, simply very nice. Thank you so much. Oh.
Dakshinamurthy Stotram is considered as the PhD of Shastras.
Oh, Mama. Oh, Mama.
And I would like to greet also those who are here for the first time from, I think, Facebook friends, Uday and others. Thank you for joining in. I hope it was convenient for you all.
Yes, Amma. And I have a question. When I looked at the first Dhyana Sloka, so what I understood is it started with Mauna Vyakya, so silence, and then finally it got connected to Chin Mudra. So Chin Mudra, as etymologically define it's Chit plus Mudra. So I've been learning Jyotish, Vedanta Jyotish from the past 8 years, and even though I've been working, I still feel I'm at a basic level. So I'm wondering, how can someone understand in silence when it's next to impossible for a human to understand things even by teaching. So that's where maybe in silence to understand things, I think we have to, our consciousness has to take such shape of Chin Mudra. So it's a wonderful thing, man. Nice ideology we got.
Thank you for sharing your insight. That's wonderful that you are also well versed in Jyotish. No? See, as I said, Swamiji would explain it this way, that adhikaritvam, sadhana chatushtya adhikaritvam, we are all at different levels of understanding, So, but these rishis are Manasa Putras of Brahma Ji, and just by maybe one Guru Kataksham, one look, they get it because they are Uttama Adhikaris, And the Chin Mudra is just a gesture. So Mauna Vyakya is the idea, but Pujya Swamiji would laugh it off and say that no, we have to talk in modern times. In Kali Yuga, this will not, suffice just to sit in silence. And that is why we have 3 years of learning, where it is unfolded.
Yes,
but thank you.
Thank God we started the journey. Thanks for your classes.
I also remember, Amma, when I was in one of the satsangs, Swamiji satsangs, I think there was so much to learn in the 3 years, and the students were saying, there is so much to learn. And he said, he was telling the students, this is not, we have made it a 3-year program for you. Otherwise, you would have to do it in a 7. We did it in a 7-year.
Correct. Not 12 years, I think it would be.
7 to 12 years is what we had to study.
Who is speaking? Kindly identify your name.
Sahiti,
Oh, Sahiti. Okay, Sahiti.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so the thing is, we all learn at our levels. But this mumukshatvam, how intense is my desire for this knowledge? Then, I will just strive for that knowledge. And so it doesn't come all of a sudden. Yeah, we have to upgrade ourselves in mumukshatvam. That is also there. Yeah. So,
I think it's really fortunate that we have started this on Teachers' Day, and the Guru is. We bow to you, Amma, as a Guru.
Yeah, I had no idea it's Teachers' Day. Somebody reminded me, and it is one of my favorite stotrams, and I chant it every day in my evening walk on the terrace. And whenever I chant the stotram, the more you chant it, you can just memorize it easily. So you find great peace, and you find that yes, there is some tattvam that is nourishing you, that is protecting you, and which you want to discover. Yeah. So, okay. Thank you everybody for taking the time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.